Hi everyone, this is Sunit, and in this video, I would like to discuss a little voice in the head that I'm sure many are familiar with. Comes up in response, or shall I say, emotional reaction toward another person. And that little voice sounds something like this. Oh, would you please just shut the hell up? Or something like this. Oh man, would they just fucking keep quiet? Excuse my frankness, but we all have those voices in the head with those exact words. And another common one is, oh, geez, would they just keep quiet? Why the hell do they have to go on and on and on and on? Oh, do I really need to be here and listen to this crap? All right, so now let's open up that dimension of the voice in reaction toward another person and what's really within and behind it. Because this is something that's happened to me, multiple times. And, initially so many times where there was a moment that I kind of woke up out of it and I stopped and I said to myself, what are you doing? Why are you going into this state? Where is this coming from? Because I was so used to doing that sometimes to people. And so first and foremost, my interesting question that I always ask myself is, where's this coming from? And when I start looking and introspecting into my life and my past, it's already something that was common inside myself from childhood years, where I don't know how everyone had grown up in terms of your particular culture, but in my culture, what was quite common was us kids going into grown-ups meeting and having tea time, and then us kids having to go and play and do our own thing. We go and visit our friends, and then the mothers visit, and then the talking happens, in between everyone. And, either during or afterwards, you kind of, or overhearing conversations of family, friends, parents, that is something that got ingrained in me over the years. Like, oh my God, that woman didn't want to keep quiet and just going on and on and on. And, there's like little things like that. And, or you sometimes find yourself in a position, now this being your pure self-responsibility, where you find yourself in a position and, there's this person speaking, you don't particularly like them. You don't particularly like what they have to say. You have no particular interest, and that's something that you've been holding inside yourself, like suppressing and keeping secret. And it's like you then place yourself in a position of forcing yourself to be there. But let's say you're a part of that person's life, relationship, business, company, or even by acquaintance or something like that, or colleague. You kind of place yourself in a position of having to listen to them. And that common, inner voice can come up. Okay, I'm here. And you're like, keep yourself busy in your head with these like nasty, spiteful, voice, and almost anything that they say is channeled into this. I also went deeper into what this energy feels like, that's behind that inner voice. What's that energy really doing? And it's like a mix between, when your radio also goes out of frequency, and at the same time as that lost frequency, there's also a massive irritating spike to it, like that. And that one person, their words and everything that they are gets channeled through that frequency inside yourself that you've tuned into. So we can also look at something like that we do to ourselves in our minds. We channel ourselves into different frequencies of emotion when it comes to people. And that channel frequency, goes into a nasty spitefulness, a irritating, it's I'm sure if you just for a moment have a look inside yourself, you can kind of get you're on the same frequency as I am at the moment in terms of getting what I'm saying. So here what to do in those moments, and what is that little voice really about? What I've realized for myself by doing my introspection and self-investigation is I have issues with that person. It comes down to the basics. And that it was never so much about what they were saying or how. It was about them. I made it personal. I could be going there, standing all like, inside myself, oh, will they just shut up or keep quiet, or I don't have to speak, and why do they keep on saying this? Really don't want to be here. Going on and on and on. But it's that energy that I'm going into, that emotion, that reaction is actually my build-up of emotional reactions over time toward that person. And I've accepted and allowed myself to go into that reaction in a justified way, in a reasoned way, because it's just something that's been with me all this time, all the years in my life. It seems natural, seems normal, seems innocent to just apparently be honest inside yourself and, go, I don't even want to listen to that person. But just look at who you become and what energy you access. I mean, speak it for yourself, aloud, become it, feel what that energy inside yourself does to your body, to you. You turn into someone, well, for a woman, for me, I was like, man, woman, you're bitchy here, and it's not cool. So I didn't like it. I felt icky. I was like, but there's no point in doing it. And interestingly enough, what I started doing then was going back throughout my relationship with a person and looking into, okay, where's the issue? Where did it start? What problem do I have with her or him? And, going in and going deeper, I realized, how there were so many moments over time that I've missed in relation to the person that I didn't look at within myself, that just kind of eventually over time, because it's been going on for so long actually, it just became this one energy. And that's something we also miss so often. We think this feeling or experience and reaction that we have towards someone is just an overall experience. It is not. Especially when you're in that person's presence and you've got these voices coming up in your head with such intense emotion. These things are created over months, even years. And, it would have been, if I were not aware of how my mind works and my emotions works as I do, I would have earnestly only dealt with that voice or that moment, not realizing there was actually months, if not years behind it. And so I could then dig into the overall general context of my relationship with that person, and where I actually had moments of reaction throughout time toward them, and kept quiet, kept it suppressed inside myself, and just, kept my dislike of them toward myself. But the dislike was emotional. It was an issue I made of it inside myself. So in working through it and just, forgiving all those moments throughout my life of, holding anything against them, realizing, coming back to reality, I've never spent sufficient time getting to know them. I don't know them personally. I've never really done things with them like, let's say friends do, in terms of coffeeing and spending time with their hobbies or them doing it with mine. I was like, if our relationship is just business, why isn't it just business? Why am I making it an emotional issue in my head? And all the while that, brought me deeper into how there was just some things about them that really irritated me. And I found that, I could do those exact same things in those exact same ways to other people sometimes. Or I also once found that there was my friend's family member way back in childhood. This woman who was in my life from childhood years, she absolutely seemed to find some odd pleasure in, really breaking down people, in, talking about them, not in like a really mean way, but just like sometimes you just look at the woman and go, wow, this is quite interesting to hear how you speak of other people. But because of this woman also being so much part of my life, this is exactly something that she used to do in terms of people, on this particular character of irritation. What irritates her of people? That's something she used to focus on. And I was like, and it was like a part of me had copied that signature exactly to the T. So I'd become that woman. I was like, oh no, I don't want to be like this. So, working through it and realizing those things, it's, as much as it is scary, it is also liberating. Scary in the sense of opening up your eyes to learning how much of even our past still influence us to this day. And we think it is ourselves. All right, everyone. So for now, I know there's not many who can necessarily dig as deep into those dimensions, but what you can do in the meantime to keep it basic is just have a look at what of that person irritates you, nags at you, makes you just feel uneasy, and just reflect on it. Just ask yourself really why. Do they deserve it? Do you have any relationship with them? Deserve meaning in the sense of, do you have any relationship with them really on deep levels, intimate levels where, it warrants even such deep personal things coming up inside yourself? Because the problem you'll realize is not so much with them. It's a part within yourself that you've not become aware of or resolved or really looked at that they're bringing out in you. But they're just a very good mirror for you. So actually, in the end of it all, just thank the person, inside myself. Otherwise, I'd have no idea what I was talking about. No, inside myself, just thanking the person. And it was interesting. I had much more of a pleasurable experience going to meetings and things like that, and keeping it very just business and professional. And I felt my relationship with them over time on a business level got a lot more comfortable, flowing, at ease, specific, detailed. Plus, I was free from that really icky voice that came up with that not nice energy that was affecting me and my body unnecessarily. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. So do have a look at that little voice if you do recognize it inside yourself. See you in the next videos.